Hey guys, happy Thursday. You guys know every video I've been dropping clues or giving some things for you to do to know that you're watching the videos. And so during this whole quarantine COVID-19 thing, you know that the main thing to do is to check your temperature, right? And so that's what I'm going to do. I have my thermometer here, which was one of our vocabulary words, and I'm going to check my temperature. Okay, and so it's ready. And my temperature is, when it lights up green, that means that it's normal. And so my temperature is 98.2. And the normal temperature for your body is 98.6. So we know that my temperature is normal. Um, okay, guys, so look out for that clue in your exit ticket. So let's go ahead and begin. So we're going to begin with our PDN. So for the PDN, the directions state to read each definition and to match the letter to the correct genre. So basically, we have to read through the definitions and we have to figure out which genre does that go with, okay? So we're talking about all genres that we've gone over since the beginning of the school year. It could be poetry, it could be drama, it could be nonfiction, it could be anything that we've talked about, okay? So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to go ahead and get my handy dandy marker. Let's see what color. I want to do a pretty color today. Let's do the rainbow. Okay. So it says A, dialogue, stage directions, cast of characters, right? What genre do you know has dialogue, stage directions, cast of characters? I know that somebody who's on a stage is usually in a play or a drama, and so that must be drama, which is my favorite. Okay. And so we're gonna just put A right here. Okay? Cool. And then we can X that off. B, line breaks, rhythm, stanzas. We know all of those are poetry elements. The only type of genre that has stanzas are poetry. Okay? Good. Okay, moving along. This is something that we've been talking about this week. A genre that has talking animals and a moral or a lesson is a fable. Yes, I heard somebody say it. Good. Next, exaggerated folktales such as Paul Bunyan. So a text that is exaggerated, we know, is a tall tale. Okay? Good. Next, explains an origin, has a moral, or has gods and goddesses. We know any story or genre that has gods, goddesses, kings, queens is a myth. Okay? Moving along. Facts and explanation. True story. Anything that is true or that has facts, real facts, we know is nonfiction. Okay? Good. Something that is realistic and modern, right? That's a clue. Realistic and modern, realistic fiction. Okay? Good. Something that is realistic but takes place in the past, we know is historical fiction. Okay? Now, a genre that talks about technology, the future, robots, aliens, has to do all with science fiction. Okay? And then last but not least, fantasy has to do all with magic, unrealistic, possibly dragons, wizards, all of that. Okay? Good job, guys. So let's go ahead and continue. Move on to our vocabulary word work. And so, guys, we've been talking about prefixes, suffixes, Greek and Latin roots, all of that. So remember we talked about aquarium and aqua meaning water, and rium or arium meaning place, right? And so aquarium was put together as a place with water. And so today we're talking specifically about the suffix orium or arium, right? Which means place. When orium and arium, I'm going to go ahead and highlight that. When orium and arium is added to a root, it's usually, I don't know what that is. It's usually given the name of a place that is associated with the root, okay? The key word auditorium, right? So when you say auditorium, it ends with the suffix, right? Let me go back because I want to make sure that's straight. It ends with the suffix orium, and so do the following words. So let's look at the following words. We have aquarium, emporium, terrarium, or terrarium, planetarium, and solarum. Okay, so I kind of gave you some clues on what some of these prefixes are. Ter means earth, and then sol, of course, means sun, like solar, right? So let's go ahead and try our best to fill in these sentences. Okay. All right. 1. Tropical fish can live in and blank, hence the shed, right? So when we think about the shed, we know that tropical fish live in the aquarium. Okay, and the shed was definitely a good clue. So we're going to X that out. Insects and worms can live in a blank, right? So when we think about insects and worms, we know that they live on the earth, right? And so, there we go. Okay, moving along. People can shop for a wide variety of items in a large store called an emporium. So I don't know if you guys heard of emporiums. Emporiums are basically like large stores that have like varieties of things. So it can have candy, it can have clothes, it can have shoes. Like it just has so many things, right? And so this is an emporium. Okay. Next, let's go ahead and X that out. So basically, guys, when you look at these big words, just like I said before, you can use these roots to decode the words. You don't have to just skip over it and say, oh, it's a big word, I don't know what it is. No, look at the root, figure out what it may be, okay? I don't know how that got bold. People can view Venus and Mars in a what? So where do you view planets, right? We know we can go to the planetarium to view these planets. Okay. And then last but not least, planets can have warmth and sunlight all winter in a glass enclosed room called a solar room. Okay. Or a solarium. I'm sorry, a solarium. I'm just all messed up with the pronunciation of these words. Y'all know Miss Simmons be struggling. All right, let's go ahead and continue. This is our board equals paper. So basically here it's just all of like a review of everything that we've learned. So we're going to quickly go through all of them so that we can remember and review what they are, okay? So if you think that I'm going too fast, please feel free to pause the video so that you can catch up. So myths explain how the world works, how we should treat each other, and then we know that it includes gods, goddesses, kings, queens, princesses, and princes, right? And then a fable. A fable, which is one of my favorites, includes talking animals, right? That gives a moral or lesson at the end of the story. Okay? Tall tales is just like really weird stories that like are exaggerated. So a tall tale exaggerates the truth. All right. It exaggerates the truth about like things that may be real in the world, but it just exaggerates how it became about. All right, moving on to the nonfiction that we discussed. We know that nonfiction and autobiography is a life story written by that person. Okay, good. Biography, same. Life story. Except this time in a biography, it's a life story that is written by someone else. Okay? Okay. Cool. And then last but not least, an informational article, which we always read, is it gives us information. It's information that gives real facts about a specific topic. Okay? Cool. So let's go ahead and push this back up. All right, so let's go ahead and begin. So we have basically like all mini passages that we need to read and figure out like, is it like what genre it is. So this is going to be our model / guided practice because I feel like on Thursdays it's review and you really honestly don't need a model from me because we pretty much can work together to solve it. And then your test is going to be tomorrow. Okay. So let's go ahead and begin. I'm going to go ahead and get my marker so that we can highlight some clues that we may see. People still talk about the night John Henry was born. So we're talking about John Henry. It was dark and cloudy, then lightning lit up the night sky. John Henry's birth was a big event. His parents showed him to everyone they met. John Henry was the most powerful looking baby people had ever seen. So first of all, that's kind of weird. How can he be powerful? So I'm going to underline this part because that may seem a little exaggerated to me. And then it begins to say he had thick arms. I don't know if a baby can have thick arms. Wide shoulders and strong muscles. Okay. John Henry started growing when he was 1 day old. So I could see 1 year old, but 1 day, come on now, you're still a baby. Before John Henry was 6 years old, he was carrying stones for workers building a nearby railroad. Now that's just insane. By the age of 10, he worked from early in the morning until night. People say he worked so fast that his hammer moved like lightning. Okay, so first of all, that's just too much. That's an exaggeration. We know that that can possibly not happen in real life. And so even though John Henry was a real person, the way that they explain this is just way too exaggerated, and we know that this must be a tall tale, right? And plus, we can eliminate fable. There's no talking animals. Informational articles are not written in story form like how it's written here. And then myths, there are no gods or goddesses, okay? Good. Let's go ahead and keep reading. Now we're on passage 2. And the video may cut off in a second, so don't worry about it. When baseball player Sammy Sosa, I don't know if you guys know about Sammy Sosa, but he's a famous baseball player, steps up to the plate, he hits home, so he is definitely a key word, and lots of them. Born in 1968 in the Dominican Republic, Sammy Sosa, there's his name again, learned early the value of hard work. When Sosa was only 7,